There's a new man on the internet, an alpha male, if you will, that goes by the name of FITXFEARLESS, who, me personally, I'm a big fan of. But there's some things that he's telling you guys that are simply untrue, and that's what I'm gonna go over in this video. Now, I'm not making this video to hate on FITFEARLESS, okay? I'm making this video to correct some of the points that I've seen him make that are just simply not true, because me and him want the same thing, okay? Number one, we want the average body composition of today's men to significantly improve. And number two, modern day masculinity is very scarce, and that is a problem, and I agree with that. Men are getting weaker day by day. It is getting rare to find men that are leaders, men that you can look up to, men that are role models to the youth. And it's a huge problem, and it needs to be fixed. 90% of the things that this guy says, I support and I agree with and I completely respect. And then there's a little portion of things that I've heard him say that I also would agree with if they were true. So I'm not making this video to hate on him or to diss him, okay? I'm just correcting some of the things that I've heard him say to his audience, because I don't want them to get the wrong information. I don't want them doing something that this guy told them they should do when that's not actually the answer. So I'm gonna play some clips from his content, and then we're gonna go over it, and I'm gonna tell you exactly why it's wrong.
Right, so that's what I'm saying. You're not lean enough. Abs, you already have abs. You don't grow them, right? Your abs are just from you being at a lower body fat percentage. But people think that in order to get abs, they need to go do fucking crunches and shit. If you build muscle, guess what will happen? You would have less body fat percentage the more muscle you have. Yeah. The more muscle you had with low body fat percentage, the more visible your abs will be.
Okay, that's not true. So what he said is that everybody has abs, you do not grow abs, which is true, but it's not true. The reason being is because, yes, everybody does have abs underneath all the fat, underneath all of the blubber, everybody does have abs. But you still should be working out your abs, because your abs are a muscle. If you train your abs consistently, they're going to grow. There is a difference between anorexic abs and muscular abs, okay? If you lean down and you lose all your body fat from doing cardio and eating less calories, eventually your abs are going to show. But the difference between your abs just showing because they're there versus your abs showing after tremendous training, it's gonna be a complete difference, and one is gonna look better than the other by a long shot. When you consistently train your abs with weight especially, your abs are going to form a lot more thickness, and you're really gonna get that separation and that muscular ab look. And the advice that this guy gives, he tells his people that you need to focus on maximizing your looks, maximizing your physique, maximizing your muscle, which I agree with. But in order to maximize your physique, you're going to need to incorporate some ab training. It's just like your legs, okay? If you get lean enough, eventually you're going to be able to see striations in your legs, even if you don't train them. But what's gonna look better? Getting lean, seeing those striations in your legs without training them, or having that thickness and that muscle in your leg and getting lean and seeing the striations then on a thick, muscled up leg. So what he's saying is that everybody already has abs. You don't need to grow your abs, because once you get lean enough, your abs are gonna show because they're already there. And I disagree, because that's the same thing with every other part of your body, okay? If you get lean enough, your muscles are eventually gonna show. But it's not gonna look nearly as good if you haven't trained those muscles and made them bigger and thicker and look better. It doesn't make sense, okay? Because every muscle in your body is already there. So if you got lean enough, you'd be able to fully in detail see every other muscle in your body. But it's not gonna look good because you haven't incorporated training. You should be training every muscle in your body. Okay, every muscle. You should be training your forearms, you should be training your arms, your shoulders, your traps, your legs, your chest, your back, your abs, every muscle in your body you should be training. So in that specific video, he is wrong. It's not true. Do not take that advice.
Here Here are 3 weird signs that no one thinks you're attractive. Number 3, no one ever tells you bless you. When you sneeze, as an unattractive person, nobody notices you exist. So you can and nobody even knows you're there.
Bro, you know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of Tate. It's like 95% of the things that he says you completely agree with and respect and couldn't be more correct. And then there's just like this little pinch of like ridiculous. It is our job as men to build up a big and strong physique because it shows our hard work and dedication and will land us several great opportunities in the future. It is our job to protect our wives, protect our kids, and lead the way to success for younger people. And that is exactly why when you're standing at line in Chipotle and you sneeze and no one says bless you, you're no good. No one cares about you. You are no good to society. It's just like, bro, it's always like that. It's never just, this guy really knows what he's talking about. Everyone needs to listen to this guy. This guy is a good leader. It's always this little pinch of craziness. Like, if we just took away the 2 clips that we just watched and completely erased them from the internet like they never happened, this guy would be a wonderful person to look up. I would consider this guy a wonderful role model. I would recommend that my kids listen to this guy. And I would still recommend people to listen to this guy because he has a very great message and everything that he says is 100% true. And I agree with, except for these 2 little clips. And I would still encourage people to watch this guy. I watch this guy every single day. I watch this guy when I'm getting ready, when I'm in the shower. I watch this guy when I'm cooking my food. Okay, I listen to all of his content. And to be honest, he's my type of guy. I would way rather hang out with FITXFEARLESS than anybody I've ever hung out with in my entire life, because me and him see eye to eye a lot more than anybody I've ever met, because we have a similar mindset and we share the same beliefs. I would 100% get along with this guy. But just like he loves helping these upcoming people or helping these young men and women or older men and women who severely need a direction to follow, who need a path to follow and need a starting point to turn their life around, just like he's trying to help these people, I want to do the same thing as well, and I care about it just as much as he does. So since I care about helping all these people and leading them in the right direction just as much as he does, if I hear some information that I disagree with, or I hear some information or some advice that's given to someone who needs help that's just not true, I'm going to make it public and take it into my hands to correct, so other people don't take that same advice. Because I don't want people to take advice from someone that they look up to thinking that it's the right advice when in reality it's not. And when this guy gives fitness advice, he tells these people that they need to focus on lifting heavy and getting stronger. And once you get stronger and you're able to lift all this weight that you never had before, your body's gonna be forced to grow, and that's when all your muscles are gonna come in. And while that may work for him and a lot of other people, that doesn't mean it's gonna work for everybody. Everybody's body is different. Me, I've been training for about 6 years consistently, and I've switched up my routine several times to see what works best for me. And what works best for me is just pumping blood into the muscle, slow, controlled, and just focusing on the contraction with lighter weight. I don't lift heavy like I used to. It was fun while it lasted. I was very strong at one point, but I wasn't growing and I didn't look my best. I didn't start looking my best until I started focusing on the contractions and just the mind-muscle connection and just pumping blood into the muscle and keep going until I can't lift the weight up anymore. This is a picture of me whenever I was consistently squatting 4 plates. About 425 pounds was my max. And this is a picture of me when I started focusing on the mind-muscle connection and just pumping blood into the muscle with full range of motion, slow and controlled. My results skyrocketed. As a matter of fact, as soon as I switched up my training and started focusing on just the contraction and the full range of motion and mind-muscle connection, I had so many steroid allegations coming in every single day because I was making so much progress when I thought lifting heavy was the way to go. I thought I looked good when I lifted heavy. And then I switched up my training regimen and started focusing on just growing the muscles. and everything changed. I actually follow this guy on Instagram, and earlier today he posted a set of dumbbell rows that he was doing. So I took a look at it and I noticed something. So you can see here, obviously he looks good. Obviously he has a lot of muscle, but he's doing dumbbell rows with 130 pounds. But he's only doing about 40% of the range of motion. But that's not the ideal way to maximize muscle growth. If you want to maximize muscle growth, you're going to get significantly more results if you're going slow, controlled, full range of motion. I know a lot of people like to ego lift is what it's called. They like to lift heavy weight, but it's better to just choose a weight that's not too heavy, not too light, where you get a good blood flow and a good pump. Now, heavy lifting on compound lifts versus accessory lifts, two completely different things. You'll be able to get away with lifting heavy on compound lifts and you might even see crazy results. But when you're doing accessories, it's just not the best thing to go as heavy as you can or as heavy as you even want. Because in order to grow a muscle, you have to stimulate the muscle and get as deep of a stretch as possible. And the way that you do that is a full range of motion. You start at the very bottom, you bring it up to the very top, and you squeeze that muscle and allow the blood flow to come in, and you repeat the process. If you're lifting heavy weights, you're gonna be jerking to the side. It's gonna be knocking your body to the left and right. You're not gonna be able to have that controlled movement. But if you're using a weight where it's not too light, but not too heavy, and it's just right to get that good pump and stimulate that muscle, you're gonna notice a lot better results. And that's just in my opinion. There's a lot of studies that say that lifting heavy weight is the best way to maximize muscle growth, and there's a lot of studies that say slow and controlled lighter weights with full range of motion is the way to maximize muscle growth. In my opinion, I've seen way better results with the second option, just full range of motion, pumping the blood into my muscles with a decent weight, not too light, not too heavy. And I've never went back ever since then because I've seen the most results. And he tells his audience to focus on progressive overload, which 100% I agree with. If you're not constantly, slowly increasing the intensity of your workouts, you're not gonna make progress. You're gonna hit a plateau. But if you're slowly but surely increasing the sets, the reps, or the weight of your workouts, you're gonna continue making progress and you're gonna see results. It's no hate, man, it's really not. Just aside from these few things that just could be tweaked a little bit, just could be said a little bit better, I think this guy's a phenomenal person. I think he's the type of guy that a lot of people should be surrounding themselves with. And I think he's gonna be an excellent father one day. He's got a healthy mind, he's got a healthy body, and he's helped a lot of people. And that is exactly the type of people that we need in this world. But other than that, everything the guy stands for, completely love. I love how he has a passion for helping people because that's my passion. I have a passion to one day help millions of people, as much people as I possibly can. So we relate in that sense. And I love his content and I love his message and I couldn't agree with it more. But anyways, that's all I gotta say. I love you all. I'll see you in the next one. Toodles.